Good evening, friends. Today we are going to start our first class on Mayur classes. Please subscribe my channel. Today we are going to learn about avant-garde movement, and the first topic will be modernism. Modernism applies to art, music, literature, and architecture. Modernism started in the late 19th century and lasted up to the arrival of Second World War, that is 1940s. Modernism is the age of newness, avant-garde tendencies, creativity, revolt against old traditions. Breaking away from old literary conventions of the previous age, it contained many schools of thought, that is Imaginism, Surrealism, Expressionism, Vorticisms, etc. Factors that are in modernism. Technological advancements in telephony, electricity, aviations, etc. Novels and poetry, new techniques, non-canonical plot, stream of consciousness, disjointment, time frames of random plot sequence, etc. Disjointment of abrupt narration without any foregrounding and minimizing of time span. Main focus in on characters of his psychic development rather than on plot. Examples: Mrs. Dalloway. Poetry poets, character 3 important. Ezra Pound started Imagist movement. Number 2. W. Yeats brought French symbolism into England. He also brought Celtic revival and mythological symbolism, example, the Second Coming. His personal symbols are Jairi, Falcon, Falconer, etc. And mythological symbols are Byzantium. Third, T.S. Eliot. He is a very important poet. Revived interest in metaphysical concepts, traditions, allusions, and cult symbolism. Example: the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, The Waste Land. Another critic we will discuss about, that is I.A. Richards, called his The Waste Land a poetic shorthand and music of ideas. His another important contribution in revival of poetic drama, that is tenets of modernism: interior monologue, free verse, possession, fragmentation, chaos, revival of traditions, symbolisms, cults, allusions, and imagisms, etc. Impressionism, developed by Ford Madox Ford in his essays in 1913. The aim of Impressionism is in painting was to show the effect of light, example the objects rather than the objects themselves. In literature, it aimed to indicate the emphasis of subjective impressions over objective reality. It is a fact. His essays in 1913 on Impressionism, he practiced his theory in novel Good Soldier in 1914. The technique was to show the inner life of the main character rather than the external reality or plot. Imaginisms. Characteristics of Imaginist poem are free of verse and lack of rhyming pattern. It was modern movement, so there was an attempt to move away from traditional poem form of convention. The idea was also transformed from the sickly sentimental poetry that came before. I hope, friends, you are clear till now. Expressionisms. In England, early 20th century, first art was literature, theatre, then cinema. It characterized boldness, distortion, and forceful representation of emotions as a movement. It flourished in Germany through the works of Friedrich Nietzsche. The term expressionism was first used by Louis Vauxhall. He used it as a reaction against realism. He aimed it to show inner psychological reality. Wyndham Lewis started Vorticisms similar to Expressionisms. Example, Eugene O'Neill's The Harry App. These are the most important examples. Please remember that. Now we'll learn Surrealism. As movement Surrealism was oriented in France in 1940 as an art movement. Surrealism was developed by Dadaism, originated in France and popularized by Salvador Dali. The term superrealism or surreal was coined by Guillaume Apollinaire and popularized by Andre Breton. Andre Breton called surrealism psychic automatism. These writers explored the territories of the conscious and the unconscious mind. Father of imaginations was Thomas Ernest Hutch Fromental. Ezra Pound was the main founder. Now we learn about expressionisms. Expressionisms was a modern initially in poetry and painting, originating in Germany at the beginning of the 20th century. Expressionism is an aesthetic style in which the artist attempts to depict not objective reality but rather the subjective emotions and responses that the objects and events around him. Expressionism was developed as an avant garde style before the First World War. It remained popular during the Weimar Republic, particularly in Berlin. The style extended to a wide range of the arts, including expressionist architecture, painting, literature, theater, dance, film, and music. Expressionism is one of the main currents of art in the later 19th and 20th century, and its qualities of highly subjective, personal, spontaneous self expressions are typical of a wide range of modern artists and art movements. This is very important, please mark this. The roots of expressionism found in German. Vincent and Gug Edward Munch of James answer all these writers' works evolve highly personal painting style in the period 1885 to 1900. The second and principal wave of expressionism began about 1905 when a group of German artists led by Ernest Lutzing Kirchner formed a loose association called Die Broche, the Bridge. The group included Erich Hogt, Karl Skigman, Rutel, and Fritz Bellel. These painters were in revolt against what they saw as the superficial naturalisms of academic impressionisms. Expressionisms in literature arose as a reaction against materialism's complacent Borgians, prosperity, rapid mechanization, urbanization, and the domination of the family within pre-World War I European society. This all friends for today. Please like my video. If you like it, then please share it and comment me the other videos you wanted to know. Please, friend, please. Thank you.